You can tell the energy in the studio today is just top. It's just such a Friday, such a Friday. So excited that you could be here with us right now, guys. If you missed the first part of the show, Hot Talk was, the tea was not that hot, but the discussion was hot. It was amazing. And there's one story, by the way, we had an update on that we didn't even talk about. So we have to talk about that later. It's our royaltiness, who you know is still in prison. He's still incarcerated, and we are still praying for him. But anyway, guys, today is Friday. We have an amazing guest in the studio. We are all content creators here. So obviously, we're always trying to also get to know other content creators. We want some of you guys to know who you can follow online, who will be inspiring, and who will just take your makeup game to the next level if you're a woman or if you're a man who enjoys doing makeup. So we have this lady in the studio. Her name is Byneka. She's an amazing content creator. She focuses on makeup, but she's just beautiful. And you'll just, let's put camera here because, wow. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
You look
thank you so much.
gorgeous.
And you smell good.
I know.
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
Everything is on brand. Everything is on brand.
Yeah.
On brand.
Oh, thank you,
On
guys.
brand.
There's
Thank
something
you
about
so
her that
much.
reminds me of Naomi. Guys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with skin color. We
oh, yeah,
miss
skin color. Yeah.
beautiful caramel
co-host
girl.
who was like, yes, she was.
I mean, I'm available if you guys,
We'll talk after
if you have
this.
a seat you want to
Yeah.
fit in. Okay.
Okay, so for those who don't know you, maybe just introduce yourself, what you do, how long
Okay.
you've been doing it.
Okay, cool. So my name is Tracy Byneka, Byneka. And the Byneka is Byneka, but I shortened it. That's my brand. I started it was actually a fashion blog initially. I started it 3 years ago. And now it's a platform where I create videos. I create beauty videos and I sometimes tell stories. That's what made me popular, actually. It's my storytelling. So yeah, it's actually, I keep saying my talent is talking. So
Yeah.
that's what I do on my platform. And
3
people
years,
enjoy it.
everyone, exactly,
Yeah, on
right?
the table.
Yeah.
But I saw your first picture on your Instagram is 2019.
Yeah, so the thing with my profile is I go refining it with time. Yeah, so I archive some things, you know. We can't put started from the bottom.
Oh.
It's we all shine.
Yeah, ghetto.
Yep.
AF.
Why? No, you have to improve it. You have to, and I also don't like a log profile. I just like people to come and see a snapshot and go.
So you're like a mystery.
Yeah.
You don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, you know, it's like a magazine. There's limited pages, you know. Can you imagine if you got a book from 1990 to now?
Wow.
But
now
never
since,
thought about that.
I consider so much of my life.
yeah, no. But now since that from before 3 years ago, it's a mystery. Maybe you can let us know what were you doing before that, and what
Okay.
made you decide to now become
Start
a content
videos.
creator and
Yeah.
start your videos.
Okay, cool. So when I first began, I actually was calling myself a stylist. So it was purely fashion. I would see clothes that I really wanted to wear, but I couldn't find locally. So I would go to tailors and have them make them for me, and then go for photo shoots and basically just showcase it. So initially it was just purely a fashion blog, and I would sometimes take on clients in terms of styling. Okay. And then now I developed it. I've always had, so fun fact, I used to have a TV show, called G3. G3 is a popular show. It's on Nation TV. So I was the first presenter of the show for the first 2 years. So I always had a knack for being in front of the camera. I only did it for 2 years in primary school, and I still wanted to do it. It was still in the plan. I just didn't have a camera. So then when I got a camera, I was like, okay, this is something I've always loved doing. I love makeup. So it followed. It was a natural progression.
Yeah.
But I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, content creation is not just makeup and then cue and then whatever.
Yeah.
Your clown video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
First of all, I think this whole being a clown thing is a trend. People are just doing funny videos about clowning. Tell us what was the thought process about that, and the people who have not watched the video, tell them more about it.
Okay, so
They are seeing it on the screen.
So if you haven't watched the clown video, you probably should. You'll probably highly relate. I genuinely had gone through a series of, failed talking stages.
Let's all hold hands.
Exactly. So I had gone through a period in time in which I was talking to guys and it's going well, and then all of a sudden, reggae it was a lot.
Yeah.
So I was just like, you know what, by the way, at this point, you can't even be sad about it. Have you ever had situations that happen and it gets to a point where you can't even be angry, you can't even be sad. It's a joke. So I
Yeah.
decided, let me just make this video. It was such a joke. I remember I was saying how this video will probably get the least watches because people will think I'm silly and stupid and move on. And that's the reason I'm seated here today. So like that's word to someone, you know, whatever you're putting in terms of content, if you're a content creator, you're saying, oh, this won't be good enough. I put out that video as a joke, and it's the reason I'm sitting here today. So
You never know.
a motivational speech.
That's what we're always telling each other is like, just create the content because you don't know which one is going to go there.
to
And the one
stick,
which you think is like, oh my God.
That's the one people like. That's why.
But let me ask you, you know how, and I think we all feel this sometimes as a content creator, you get one video which is like so dope, and then now creating content after that can get a bit difficult because you keep thinking, okay, am I ever going to have a video as good as that one? Or I'll just be like, oh, that girl who used to have that video for clout.
One hit wonder. Yeah. Okay, so for me, I try not to think about, it's important to consider the reception of how people are going to receive it, but I look at it as, this is my art form. Like when I first started creating videos, I had 600 followers, and even from those 600 followers, I'd probably get maybe like 400 views, right? So I knew I'm creating it for myself, and I still try to keep that in mind. It's like the content is mine, and other people can share in it with me. If they like it, great. If they don't, it's also great. It's not me they're rejecting, it's maybe the content. So I don't try to think,
All this is vague.
so it's not like if they don't like the video, they don't like me, or I'm failing in some way. It's just that they just don't like the video. So I try to consider what do I like, and I also look for inspiration. So the people I really like some international bloggers, even local bloggers, there's some people who really inspire me. So when I'm looking at what they're doing, then it's pushing me to keep doing what I'm doing. As long as the inspiration comes from within them.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah. You know, the beauty industry is so saturated in terms of just the common, makeup video that's always posted and everything. I could say, this is my blush, this is my lipstick, then I put on this, then I put on that. I think what people love about it is like your storytelling aspect. So like, do you feel as if now that's going to be like your go-to thing? You're known that when we come watch a makeup video for you, you're going to be telling us some story about something that's happened to you.
But aren't you going to run out of stories?
I can never run out of stories.
I know, I talk a lot. I'm actually like a parrot. I keep saying, and I love the way she introduced me, because she said I'm a primarily beauty content creator. So even when I do the crazy makeup looks, people will still watch even though they don't do makeup at all. Even guys will watch and say, I literally just watch for your personality. Your personality can ooze through anything. You could be cooking, you could be, I don't know, cleaning, I don't know. You literally could be doing anything, but it's a personality that sells the people. So I may not make my platforms, because YouTube to come. YouTube is coming soon.
Yes.
Period.
Period.
So I may not make it like a purely storytelling thing, but it will always be like fun and just me. That's all you get. It's me.
Like Jackie.
Yeah, exactly.
Jackie,
I
love
Jackie.
her just because of who she is.
Yeah.
Like, you're so right.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, because as Ayuma said, content creating, first of all, in general, is just like everyone's a content creator, right?
Yeah.
Do you do anything? Do you do anything on the side? Maybe for like, maybe you have like another hustle, or do you see this as this like my predominantly what I'm doing, and this is how I'm making my living?
Okay, so whatever I'm doing now is highly related to yet to sign a contract. So it's a little bit low key. So you guys are getting the first scoop.
Okay.
But I'm actually going to be a social media strategist for a telco startup, and so that will enable me to at least have an income that will then feed in back into the content creation. Because then I have a salary, and I can use that to buy lights and whatever else I need to make in terms of investments. But what you're saying is what I would like to do. I would like to get to a point where, like, you spoke about Jackie, and I just saw she posted on Twitter that she has this G-Wagon that she wrapped up and put her signature on, and I was like, this is where I want to be, exactly. It's like I want it to be my career. So I'm just hoping that the digital advertising space becomes bigger, because obviously if you have people advertising on your platform, then you have more income, and then now I can just solely focus on that. But now, because I'm a micro influencer and I'm just starting out, I sort of have to supplement it with something else.
I get it.
But if it was a full-time thing, I'd totally do apply. Yes.
It will soon come.
And
girl.
I mean, look at Asia. She just slept. One day she woke up, now macro. She was like micro when she slept, then woke up in the morning and she's macro. So that could happen to you as well.
And
congratulations on that job.
Thank you.
Because in COVID season, young people are losing jobs, you're
Yeah.
getting a job.
Yeah.
But
That's great.
exactly. So, but how else has like COVID season affected you as a content creator specifically in terms of like even let's say we can say working with brands or even just like your creativity, your mental health as a content creator?
Wow. Okay. So I've been getting requests to send my rate card, which is great. And beyond that, just on a personal level, like this shutdown time has given me a chance to be home and not to distract myself so much. You know, the thing is when you're a content creator, you actually, like, people assume it's a jobless thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you go live your life and that, but you actually have to be home because that's, or in your set, wherever that is, because that's your office, right? So now I have my 9 to 5, Monday to Friday with nowhere to go. So I have a lot of time to really focus on what I'm doing, and it's been great.
Yeah.
Because when I look at even say my past 4 videos, they've all been doing really well just because of the amount of time I've taken to think about them. And I wouldn't have that time to like meditate on my content if we didn't have the shutdown. So yeah, COVID has been great for me.
Yeah.
Man, God's great.
It's really a good thing because I think there's a very few people that can say that COVID has been good. So like we definitely thank God for that.
Yeah,
we have someone that says it to OMG, your guest today reminds me of Alexander Burke.
What?
Sort of kind of looks alike, one boy from K2C, right?
Thank you.
Yes. So the guys are definitely loving you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Now you said that your goal is to like now fully move on to content creation and everything. Do you think that there's a way that like you can still have a full-time job and do content creation and do all these other things, or do you have to choose one?
Oh, that's a good question. For the longest time, I was very of the mentality of just do content creation and content creation only. But the only thing you realize is that it's an expensive game, right? You guys are saying the industry is saturated. So for you to have a USP or for you to differentiate yourself from the competitors, you sort of need to invest more. For you to invest more, you need money. And that's not going to come immediately at the beginning, right? Because even right now, my rates are as like proportional to my followers, which is not particularly high as compared to maybe other influencers. So I would say in the beginning, just, you know, in terms of being money-wise, have something that is complementary to what you're doing, if you can. Honestly, if you can. And if you can't, just find a way to maintain your sanity and your mental space so that you can be in a really good space to create. Because sometimes you're in a job that stresses you. And then if it's stressing you, then how are you going to, how are you going to create? It's like, there's no joy, you know, like for me, my biggest selling point is like, people keep telling me you're always in such a good mood. And it's for real, I'm always in a good mood. So if I have a job that's frustrating me, then I can't do my content, right? But now I have a role that is highly correlated to what I'm doing. So that enables me to have a peace of mind and, you know, some money. Period. So, so that will make me happy. So yeah, I think it's all about how you measure. Because there's some people who actually just have the money to do the investments. There's people who don't need to, you know, work. And then there's hustlers like me.
So on Wednesday we had Miss Nyawe here, and she said, like, you know, the goal which she sees is that she wants to have like a plus size agency or something like that. For you, like, you know, based on what you're creating right now, what is the big vision for you?
Oh, that's a good question. My BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. So I would say, first of all, get my platform to the point where I feel like I'm producing meaningful content that relates to people every day. On all my platforms. So Instagram, and like I said, soon to come YouTube. Self-plug. And just, I think for me, the reason why I started my videos is to connect with people. So I keep saying, like, in my videos, I'm so grateful. Like, if anyone ever comments on my content or sends me a DM, I'll always respond. And that's because when I started my videos, it wasn't like a narcissistic, oh, let me just come and show how pretty I am. It was for me to connect to people because that's like, my gift is communication, right? So get to a point where my communication is meaningful as well. How can I give back to society? So like you see with Jackie, she will use her platform to speak about Black issues in America, right? So I would want to get to the point where like I'm a meaningful voice, I'm a role model, and win bigger awards, you know, like it's basically all just growing within this one field. So however far it can go. I don't want to limit it because I know like the whole social media aspect of careers is very new. So it literally could be anything, but I know I want to have a big, meaningful platform to influence positively.
From your lips to God's ears.
From your lips to God's ears. I want to give a bit of encouragement. I've seen you're at 8,300 followers. And you said that for you to set yourself apart in the beauty industry, you need to invest more. That's not true.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I've seen people do better than huge influencers with minimal production value.
Yeah.
In fact, one thing that I've realized, like as a YouTuber, as a content creator, people will sacrifice production value for content value. If your content is cute, it doesn't matter you shot it which Android, because Androids are trash. It doesn't matter if you have which background.
Our own Kaguli is growing like crazy.
She's growing like crazy. She has an Android. I mean, let no one tell you, you know. And then the other thing
an Android.
I know, hating on us. Yeah.
Okay, Lydia, exchange seats with her. And the other thing that many content creators don't put into consideration, especially when doing rate cards, is you don't just take into account the 8,300 followers you have. It's also the conversion. Because someone might have 1 million followers and their conversion is 2%.
Yeah.
And you might have 8,300 and your conversion is 87%.
Yeah.
That impacts. And brands more and more are looking at that. My question to you was, oh my God, have I forgotten my question? It was a
Thanks
very...
for the advice, though. I'm like, now I'm not taking notes. I should have put a notebook.
I know. Okay, I forgot my question, guys. I'm sorry. After giving all that advice.
Don't worry, though, because we have a viewer.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have a viewer, Claire, who says that she has a question for
that was my
Byneka.
question, yes.
Yeah, so she was like,
A question for me?
she was like, what motivates you to be the person you are today?
Wow. Claire, her name.
Yes, Claire.
So deep. The person I am, wow, what motivates me to be the person I am?
Not your driving force.
My driving force, I think, spirit of improvement. I'm always, you know how we're taught in Strathmore things, but we were taught the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So as humans, you're taught that you're always like inching closer and closer to self-actualization. So I really want to get to a point where like I'm very in sync with who I am, like past, present, and future. You know, like there's a way when you're in communication with yourself, when you're in cahoots with yourself, you really like, you operate just on a different plane. Like the way you see things is not normal. So I think I'm always pushing myself to like discover more about myself and really address the problematic areas of like my own personality so that I can get to self-actualization. I would say that's my big motivation.
That's nice and deep,
Yeah.
actually.
Cynthia from Kiku is saying, say hi to Byneka. She is so beautiful.
Oh,
you are
Cynthia.
legit so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Truth City. So the other day we were talking about you know, how like, you know, Tanasha was saying that, you know, when she's trying to go to maybe a meeting or something, like, you know, her beauty like becomes kind of a thing. In this industry, have you experienced situations where you feel like, okay, this person is trying to negotiate something because of how I look?
Like pretty privilege.
Yep.
Pretty
Privilege.
Pretty privilege.
I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Obviously, I'm recognizant of the fact that I'm visually appealing.
You have some assets as well.
Yeah.
You know. But I think for me, even though, okay, so there's two aspects to that, right? Having pretty privilege means that sometimes simply just because of how you look, you're able to get into certain doors, or able to get certain opportunities, which is unfair, but it's a thing that's there. So the thing is, you just need to check your privilege. But then also, it's not just getting to a certain space, right? It's also backing it up, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you get something because someone thinks you're prettier than the other person, but when you're there, like, what are your results?
It's true.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I think for me, I'm able to be placed in a certain place, maybe because of how it looks sometimes, but then I'll always back it up with my skill set, my work ethic, everything, right? So it's not just like you've been placed there and you're dropping immediately.
Yeah.
It's like, you've been put ahead a bit, you have a head start, but then also you can back it up.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
To back up your beauty. And we're going to see if she can back up her beauty because we're going to be tested in game time.